A bit about me.
Yeah.
I'm a 32-year-old woman who I grew up on the beach
Yeah.
in Port Macquarie.
Nice.
Pretty awesome place to grow up. I didn't surf though, which is a bit strange. Everybody always asks me if I surfed, and I never did. I'm too busy hanging out with boys, I think. So I grew up in Port Macquarie. I left there when I was 18 and haven't gone back since. I've done a lot of travelling. Travelling's been a huge passion for me. It's where I've done the most learning, I think. And I now live in Brisbane. So I've lived here this time around for the last year and a half. I've got all my family in Sunshine Coast, which I'm really grateful for because then I get to see them as often as I can and I want to.
Yeah.
And I run my own business.
Cool. What's the business then?
It's called Kids Yoga Therapy.
Yeah.
So it's a business designed to work with children that have special needs and that have experienced trauma through the body, obviously, yoga therapy. It's designed to impact the family as a whole and not just the child. So I work with the children one-on-one, but I also work with the parents as well. So we really want to start creating good habits in the family to start calming everybody down and bringing a sense of peacefulness within the home and start altering the brains through the bodies.
Yeah.
That's essentially what I've created Kids Yoga Therapy to provide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you say in the body? What's the difference? Is there another place that you can experience trauma?
Well, trauma is stored in the body.
Okay.
And so the research and my belief is that if we want to release the trauma from the body, if we want to start creating different neuro pathways within the brain, then the most basic way we can do that and the easiest way we can do that is actually through the body. So because our body is it's the most basic structure that we have, and I always say when we alter the physiology, we alter the neurology. So when I'm working with children who have been stuck in this same way of being because it's comfortable for them and that's where they've found their safety, and they go to the same habits with their body. So if we create different movements within the body and then I request certain things from them when we've got different movements, then it just activates different parts of their brains. And when we can do that at really key developmental stages of the brain, then some pretty awesome changes start to happen.
Yeah.
So for me, because children have a limited access to the frontal cortex and this language region, then start with the body or work with the body is the most effective way.
Awesome.
I've found.
Yeah. Fantastic. Can you tell me a bit about what's important to you in your life? Or can you tell me what is important to you in your life? Not just a bit about it, I want to know all about it.
What's important to me? You know, the most important thing for me is freedom. I seek freedom in nearly every area of my life. Freedom's really important. Freedom to do what I want with the people that I love the most. Yeah. That's really important to me. Freedom to experience what life has to offer as often as I want. And I think where that feeds into what I am committed to within my business is I'm really committed to children being free and free to be themselves.
Yeah.
So the most magical moments for me is when a child finally feels understood by their parents and accepted for who they are and who they're not. And because often we're just caught in this whirlwind of expectations, what needs to get done during the day, the do's and the don'ts, that we actually miss those opportunities of seeing who this person is in this moment.
Yep.
So I'm really committed to helping families see the child for who they really are authentically.
Yep.
and not trying to create a different person.
Yeah.
So that's where freedom, I guess, plays in.
So it looks like that for the kids. What does it look like for you? What does freedom look like for you around being free to, what did you say? Free to be free with the people that are important to you.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
It looks like, I suppose it looks like free to be myself at any given moment with the people that I love too. And it's probably exactly the same, where I want to be accepted and loved for who I am and who I'm not as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely not a fool. I definitely know why I'm seeking that for children. I'm doing it for children because that's what I wish for myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I wished for myself when I was young as well. So I know, I can see where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So yes, freedom for me in that realm would be just being accepted and loved for who I truly, authentically am.
Yeah.
And being able to express myself authentically within that space too.
Mm-hmm.
It means, like literally, it means going on holidays whenever I want. And I suppose that's just experiencing life all of the time. That's freedom for me. What else is freedom?
What does it look like to the people that are important to you?
With me being free?
Or them? Does it go both ways?
Interesting. Well, it definitely should. Yes. Yes. It should definitely go both ways, where they're accepted for they are accepted for who they are too, and who they're not.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's how I've been with them for a long time.
Yeah.
But yes, it would be just accepting their opinions and their ways of being just as is, with none of my opinions falling on them.
Yeah.
And none of my stories taking over and judging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not trying to create them to be somebody else.
Yeah. Letting them live their journey.
Yeah.
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 And experience the journey in all of its glory.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's right, it is a journey. Yeah.
Is there anything else that's important to you?
There must be so much. It's really hard to put language to it. It's really important for me to, being healthy is so important to me.
Yeah.
It's important for me to treat my body well, and it's important for me to grow as a person. I think developing my own body and mind is a huge value of mine. That's important to me. It's important to me to not stay the same for too long. It's important for me to still learn about myself and the world and try and be a better person each day. And I think for me the biggest journey has been how to get out of my head so I can keep living from love, really. That's been the biggest lesson, and that's just a continual process for me.
Yeah.
So that's what's important to me, is to keep coming back to love and seeing people as whole and big people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like that it's a challenge to answer it, isn't it?
It's a really big challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, how do I like to spend my days, and
There's so many things.
what's really important to me. And everyone, like I would say, well, friends and family. Family is hugely important to me. But why? Well, obviously I love them. And I want to have a really amazing relationships with them, and I do want to see them thrive. But on top of that, it needs to be their journey and not mine.
Yes. Yeah. So can you see the power, is this something that you'd ask other people now that I've asked you and you've seen?
Yeah, it's a question I never ask anybody. I don't think I've I think I've asked you once. I haven't asked anybody that I love. Like I haven't asked my family.
No, and you said that you want them to live on, from their experience.
And I don't even know what that is.
No, and they probably don't know either because they've never been asked.
Yeah. They have not been asked.
No.
Not by me.
No.
And probably not by anybody, but yeah. And it is a question that I will ask, actually.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, you can know somebody for your whole life and who knows what they could come out with. That's sort of exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they've never been asked.
Yeah.
And they've never even pondered it.
Yeah. And I suppose that's a really good start to how I interact with clients too, actually. Because we often see the symptoms of what's going on, but you never really know what is important to them unless you ask. And I don't think I've been asking that question as straight as I should with the parents that I work with.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a good question.
So you'd consider asking it now?
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll definitely ask.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It'll make all the conversations a bit more meaningful, I'd say.
Yeah. Why do you think you've never asked it or been asked? Well, why do you think you've never asked it?
Probably because I just assumed. Did I assume? No, maybe because it's... I think we get stuck in the realm of all of the like drama or stories or what's our next goal or this. I guess it's you get stuck in this normal way of communication that you've always had. And to ask, okay, what's important to you in your life is actually standing still for a moment and reassessing everything. And I don't think we don't do that. I don't do that with people. And probably because it feels like too much work.
To live in the context of that answer.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's avoiding the work that comes with it. There's probably an element of that. Yeah.
One of the things that came up for me, the reason I didn't ask it of myself is it occurred as selfish. And then when I answered it, I thought, holy moly, it's not selfish at all.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised how unselfish the answer was.
Yeah. It's funny, I can have conversations with parents, and when they're given that space to think about themselves and their identity, it's funny, their answers are, I feel like I'm being really selfish right now because I'm thinking of myself and I'm not including my family in my thoughts right now.
Yes.
But in actual fact, when you decide on the person you want to be and reconnecting with what's important to you, ultimately it creates better outcomes for everybody around you anyway.
Yes.
So it's completely unselfish.
Yeah, I think it's the way that the question, the interaction occurs to us that we have asked the question before, and then when we're asked it, we think, holy moly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks, Jess.
I don't think I've built a big enough sandpit.
That's all right. The best part about this question is that it's one of those things that I found that I ask myself all the time, every day, because I've never been asked it. I certainly hadn't been, and I didn't know I didn't know what my sandpit looked like.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about what that sandpit means. It's just we were having this discussion around. If you were kids and you wanted people to come and play with you, what would your sandpit look like?
Yeah.
What would your life look like?
Yeah. What would you want it to look like?
Yes.
Yeah. And knowing that everybody doesn't need to be in your sandpit and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you're creating it for yourself.
Yeah.
So I guess my sandpit would look like prosperity and wealth and and love and connectedness, travel, and a really a thriving business that's impacting people. For me, I want to impact people all over Australia, but all over the world eventually.
Yeah.
So they're my big goals.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's a pretty big sandpit.
Yeah. I want a big sandpit.
You want a big
I don't think I've ever wanted a little sandpit. I want a big sandpit with lots of people that share the same values as me and speak the same language of me as me and they want to go back to basics, I think, which is just being loved, being loving and being connected with people, because we get lost in this materialistic world that doesn't serve us, I think. Yeah. So yeah, a big sandpit for me.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're going to ask people in your life and yourself this question more often.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing my family this weekend, so I'm going to start asking them. Because then I know, I mean, of course I'd want to help them then. If I know the answers, then I'd want to see if there's anything I can do to facilitate that or help them with that or get them there or be a person that they can rely on to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course you would, wouldn't you, if you love them? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love the eyebrows.